here in Paris, and we're going to check out a super cool bike shop called La Chouette. Let's go check it out.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, how's it going? This is our
Nice to meet
friend Jacob, who's going to be giving us a tour.
This is João, our mechanic who does all the builds. This is Pierre, who takes care of the online and mostly the shop, actually. Paul, who is our new mechanic.
Well, there looks like there's a ton of awesome stuff packed into such a small space. Can you give us a quick tour of the shop?
Yeah, of course. Well, everything's everywhere, so it's a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. We've got all of our products here, so we've got these that just came in, the buffed like neckwear things,
Yes.
Our bottles, our cups, reflectors from Blue Lug, our patches.
I think this is the widest assortment of alt bars I've ever seen in Europe so far.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we've got Tumbleweed, Velo Orange, again, Blue Lug, Rivendell
Right.
stuff, a lot of Nitto,
Yeah.
Frameworks.
Tell me about this frame. This is a new collaboration for you guys.
So yeah, we did this with Simworks, Bassi, Stolen, who you're going to see.
Right.
They painted the frame, and the frame is a Brother All Day.
Okay.
So it's just a single speed, very simple kind of cruising around a city bike. So through here we've got more frames and custom builds that we've done. You know, if we've got a frame lying around for a bit too long, we might just build it up to give the customer an idea of what we can do with it.
Right.
And yeah, we've got more swoops here. Our t-shirts, we do new t-shirts every year. This one was done last year. We've not finished our new one. All our bags here, which are obviously essential for the type of riding that we do.
What brands do you carry?
In frames or bags?
In frames.
In frames, it's Crust, Omnium. We sell quite a lot of Omnium.
Okay.
They're really cool bikes. Surly, we've got some left, but we've kind of moved on to, you know, Rivendell, more Crust,
Yeah.
and Brother as well, which is like they do some really nice frames.
Are you guys the only Riv dealer in the EU, or are there others?
Do you know? I think so. There's Woods in the UK.
Okay, in the woods.
But yeah, I think we're probably the only other place that sells them.
Right.
Cool. And they are beautiful frames. They're our
Yeah.
favorite ones. We've got this Clem that's been here a little while. It's really tall.
What size is it?
It's like a 62.
Okay.
It
If
rides
you're
like a
tall and you want to Riv, come to
Yeah,
La Chouette.
exactly. Yeah. So we built this up really simply,
Yeah.
but it's a great touring bike.
Yeah.
It really is. Back here we've got, you know, all your accessories. We've got baskets, racks, kind of alt tires, saddles, helmets. You've got your ponchos, got a few more bars, which are more kind of, I would say, town bars.
Yeah.
You know, kids' seats, obviously.
Nice.
Pedals over here. I know you like the pretzels. Which one was the one that you really liked?
The pretzels and the always.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got them installed on bikes. We've not actually got any here.
Are these VPs that are Blue Lug branded? Or?
They're the Shark Blue Lug.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And purple. You guys are in need of purple pedals. Can't go wrong with that. Let's see. It looks like you guys carry grep.
Grip tape is really, really nice.
Yeah.
We really like that. And the fact that you can reuse it
Yeah.
and wash it.
For sure.
A nice thing, because it does tend to get pretty sweaty and dirty.
Yeah.
Stinky.
Yeah. Some Velo Orange.
Yeah.
Igor
Little
hates-
orange, yeah.
Igor hates it when I pronounce it like that, but it just makes it classes it up, you know?
It does, I get it. And then we've got the Strideson forks there.
Oh, okay. So what are these ones? Which wheel size are those for?
This is actually through Axel, but I mean, he normally works with 26 inch.
Okay.
But because of the disc, you can kind of
Ah.
put whatever size you want on there.
This is the first
And
time I've
obviously-
seen it in person. So what's special about this other than all the...
I mean, they call it the barnacle fork.
That's right.
Obviously, because of all these little holes. We did a nice video with just stuff attached all
Right.
over the place. It looked great. These are the more sort of town bikes that we sell.
Right.
Commuter bikes. Pelago is
Yeah.
a really, really good brand based in the EU.
Yeah, I took the Aristo on a short, like 2 or 3 day tour. It's actually surprisingly capable.
It
you know?
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why we like them. I mean, Pierre has one that he rides every day.
Yeah.
And he loves it. For the price, it's just such a great bike. And honestly, in Paris, it's
Yeah.
difficult to push more expensive bikes on people,
Right.
especially for daily bikes,
Yeah.
because there's so much theft here.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Right.
It's a really difficult one. Through here, these are more specialized.
Is this a customer bike or is that just a build?
That's mine. I
Okay.
built up a bike for slow riding.
Yeah, yeah.
with a friend of mine who's like 78.
Nice.
And the whole point was to ride slow and comfortably.
Nice. I've not seen this colorway in person. That looks pretty
No,
sweet.
that's the thing. On their website, it just looks like it's one color.
Yeah.
And then when we got it,
And it's
you know,
textured
it's all
too.
speckled.
Like you can
Yeah.
feel like it's raised. It's kind of interesting.
it's really nicely done. So this is a poncho. It rains a lot in Paris, unfortunately.
Right.
It's made for cycling.
Yeah.
And it's really smart. So it's not like wearing like a balloon. So it's a Japanese brand.
Okay.
And yeah, it just fits around in a very, very smart way. And you've got these little clasps here to stop it blowing out, you know, in the wind.
Yeah. It feels relatively light. I've tried the Caradice like duck canvas one, and that would touch heavy, but this is it's good weight.
Well, it's good as well because it packs down like this.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just kind of have it in a bag somewhere in your panniers or something.
Yeah.
In case it rains. And it does.
Yeah. That's actually new to us. Like I always imagine Paris like perpetual summer.
I know, but it's not.
Yeah.
Last year was terrible. It was just raining all the time.
Tell me a little bit about the history of the shop. When did it start, and why did you guys choose the products you guys have?
Well, we started back in 2016 with no money. We did used bikes because there's so many beautiful old frames in France.
Right.
Mostly racing frames that we would turn into more cruiser style things, you know,
Right.
flat handlebars and stuff like that. And then it just evolved into more of a bike packing, slow riding place. We've only ever really sold steel bikes because they last longer, they're more durable. If the frame bends slightly, you can refix them.
Right.
You know, it's not carbon where it's just dead at the end of like a small crash. Love doing our research and finding like the nicest products that we possibly can to sell in our shop. We love Blue Lug, we love what they do.
Yeah.
And we sell their products here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been an ongoing, and it's obviously still ongoing,
Right.
mission to find new brands and nice ideas and nice accessories that you can put on your bike to make things easier.
So I'm super familiar with lots of the brands you guys carry, and sort of people on the channel. How about the general Parisian or European market? Has it been like an education process, like, or are they?
It sure has. And honestly, the biggest thing was Parisians don't really like to spend too much money, which is fine. So we always have an option. So we might have like at least two products where one's your basic kind of lights, for example.
Right.
Really cheap lights that will last. And then we have, you know, the nice, really big lights that you might want to use in the forest or, you know, when there's no light around. So we do like to have options for people. Don't really take care of their bikes as much as we'd like them to, but that keeps us in business because we keep repairing them.
Yeah.
So I suppose there's that too. At the moment, the term gravel is, for us, incredibly vague.
Right.
So someone might come in and say, do you sell gravel bikes? And we ask immediately, what do you mean by that? Because they could mean, I just want a bike with fat tires.
Right.
The gravel world is exploding, and we've seen that in the past few years, certainly since COVID. And for us, a big thing was the online store.
Yeah.
As soon as that came in, we were able to get more products because so many people in Europe are looking for these, but the shipping is crazy.
I'm looking for these.
Yeah, well, we're here. We're here.
Yeah.
As it grows, I think there are more people in Paris coming, you know, to buy these types of products.
Right.
Swift bikes, for example, we sell quite a lot of Swift Industries.
Yeah. So speaking of gravel in Paris, how hard is it? Like, how long do you have to ride before you hit?
Not that far.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in London before here, and getting out of London was almost impossible. You had to get a train.
Right.
Here, I would say it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get outside of Paris into, you know, small hills, nothing crazy, but like, you know, countryside. And it's great. There's a lot of rides around here. Yeah.
Which direction is best?
Any. You can go west, and west of Paris, there's a lot of like beautiful countryside, like little chateau and small villages and stuff where you can stop and have your coffee and stuff like that. So
I'm a big fan of Riv, and I was super surprised to see that you guys carried them. Like, what's the reception been like? Do you have to educate the customer a lot, or who's going to check it out?
We have a lot of people compliment the Rivendell bikes, especially people who have never seen one before.
Okay.
Until they hear the price.
Yeah.
And of course that's like a difficult sell.
Right.
But it's clear, like you can see the attention to detail on these things.
Right.
The style that Rivendell work with it goes back to old French touring. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we're interested in, like touring, obviously.
Yeah.
And the history of that kind of started in France.
Right.
So they've said themselves, even with their graphics and stuff, that it's loosely based on old French touring bikes.
So it's kind of full circle.
It really is, yeah. Obviously, on this, we've got the friction shifters, which I know you're a fan of.
Yes.
We love them too. You just can't go wrong.
Let's say someone's coming into Paris to go ride the bike. What are your top 3 tips? What should they know about riding a bike in Paris?
In Paris itself, it's quite nice. There's they've spent a lot of money on the infrastructure here, so getting around is much safer than it used to be 12 or 13 years ago, and it was terrible. It was really dangerous. Now there's cycling lanes everywhere, so in Paris itself is very, very safe. I would say if you wanted to get out of Paris, as I say, it's very quick to get out. You can take a train and go almost anywhere, and the cycling in France, like the French countryside, is beautiful.
Right.
And what's good about the French countryside is the small villages every 8 kilometers or so.
Nice.
So if you do have an incident or you break down, whatever, you're not that far from civilization. So that's always nice. Yeah.
So you probably saw the metamorphosis of the city becoming more bike friendly. What was that like?
It was interesting because they started putting the bike lanes in the bus lanes. Was terrible. I've got to say, they thought it was safer, but buses can't often see you.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are in such a rush to get to where they need to be. It's a big city. So they ride dangerously, and the buses are kind of not always able to see them. Since then, they've really tried to make it more accessible for cycling. They've closed off a lot of lanes, traffic lanes, for cycling lanes, which I think is great. Obviously, the motorists are pretty upset about that, but we don't mind.
Like, did you see like a noticeable uptick in cyclists once they started adding more infrastructure?
So what happens in Paris is every spring there's a couple of nice days, and the whole world comes out on their bike. You can barely move. There's traffic everywhere on bikes. It's great, and that increases every year. So it gets harder every year on those first few days of the year, because you've just been through winter and there's no one really around, and you can kind of go at your own speed. Suddenly you're in traffic. So that's the change, I think, is like more and more people every year, definitely.
There's more? Oh, so you're here too. Okay, I thought it was just that tiny space.
When we first opened, we just had the shop and we had one stand. And organically it grew, and we needed more space for more stands. So we managed to get this just next door, and we've got a stand here, one here.
Nice.
A bit of storage through there.
Right.
And yeah, we can just have, stuff that we don't necessarily need to have on show in the shop. So brake pads, inner tubes, and there's a lot of walking back and forth, but that's okay. We get our steps in.
What's back here? Is this just old inventory?
That's just more storage for repairs.
Okay.
Wheels, bikes that haven't been picked up for over a year. You know. Beautiful Bridgestone there that got modified with this.
Like, we've spoken to lots of bike shops, and it seems as if like services are a big moneymaker these days. Is that?
It definitely keeps us ticking over. It's probably the biggest part of our business. Just the turnover of bikes coming in and out. Parisians don't often look after their bike until they do. And once they do, they have to, oh, it's that as well, and this and this and this. So yeah, definitely repairs are a big part of our business.
When's your busiest season for repairs? Is it like the couple days before spring?
I would say, do you know, a lot of people in France go on holiday for the entire August.
Okay.
It kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
And September, when everybody comes back, I think they've been to a country house and ridden a bike or whatever and pulled it out of their grandfather's cave or something. And they're like, can you fix this up for us? So we get a lot of business in September.
You guys must see some pretty interesting like vintage bikes that roll through that people pull out of the garage. Is there anything that stuck out in your head?
Oh God, there's loads, yeah. Like I say, really older French touring bikes are really nice to see.
Has anyone ever bought in like a pristine Rene Earth like barn find that just...
Sadly not
no?
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I have this dream of like stumbling upon one in Europe while we're here.
We've had some really nice custom frames come through. Victoire, do you know that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've had a couple of those and they're really nice to work on. Very, very nicely made. But yeah, in terms of vintage things, they tend to be in awful condition.
So you guys got the tiny Omnium. Do you guys move a lot of Omniums?
We sell a lot of Omniums. They're very practical in a city. Cargo bikes in general sell quite well.
Yeah.
And the trend is just coming through. So Omnium's only maybe 10 years older. I don't know the exact dates, but it's not an old brand.
Right.
But they are fantastic. They're really well made.
Yeah, I love this size too. Like it's...
Yeah, we really like this one because again, in Paris, not much space.
Yeah.
You can park this anywhere and it rides like a normal bike.
Yeah.
The handling is great if you want to try it.
Yeah, for us it has to like fit in a small elevator, otherwise it's like a no-go.
Yeah. Oh, you can't leave them in the street.
No. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for the tour. If you guys happen to be in Paris or need another place to check out while you're visiting, definitely take out La Chouette. Which neighborhood is this, by the way?
This is the 10th. So Republique is just down the road.
Okay.
We're pretty central here. Yeah. The 10th of Paris.
Okay. Check out the 10th. Check out La Chouette. They've got a great online store. If you're in the EU and need to buy some Alti bike parts and don't want to deal with shipping, you guys have an online shop as well, right?
We sure do, yeah. It's lachouetteparis.com.
Cool.
.com.
.com.
Sorry. That's my French.
Thanks, everyone. Be sure to subscribe. We've got a couple more bike shop visits while we're here in Paris. And as always, keep the supple side down.